Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon. So today's video we will mostly talk about the 100% rate up banner in PGR for the 3rd anniversary. So for this banner, they will go up to Alpha Crimson Wave. So in here, of course, we have a lot of choice. Maybe some of you confused in here which one we should pick or you should choose. So in here, I hope you can help. As usual in here, this is mostly my opinion. I will give you the overview, positive and negative, and why you should pull this character. So let's get started. So for my recommendation is that I have 6 characters that I can say it's worth for you to looking for. And there's some honorable mention that I will mention too. I will start first with the number 6, which is 21 Feral Sand. 21 Feral Sand is very good support in the Lightning meta team. I know some people talk here and there because yeah, you can just choose Leaf Lux, something like that. But in the end, she's still better in every way in Leaf Lux itself. You can check my video. Even best as rank itself, she already better than Leaf Lux. Just because her consistency in providing buff that not relying on field, like you have to stay that field. And especially if you're playing with the Alpha Crimson Wave, she will move literally left and right, up and down. So it's quite hard for you to consistently stay in the middle of the Leaf Lux field. But with the 21 Feral Sand, as long you trigger the QT, you already receive the buff. So that's why this is very good, especially for your Alpha Crimson Wave. And it also can work with any playstyle your Alpha Crimson Wave. Maybe you say but I already play my Alpha Crimson Wave solo. It will be probably not that useful. But it's still useful even you just make her as a QT slave. She's still pretty much an upgrade from the Leaf Lux itself. If you worry that she will getting replaced, as far as I know in the future patch, she's still not literally getting replaced. So you can expect around a year she's still safe for the long term. The only downside about her is that she kinda need weapon in order to work optimally because the lightning is on her weapon, so it's quite unfortunate. The reason if you wonder why I put in the 6th place, just because although she is mostly upgrade from the Leaf Lux itself, but we already have alternative which is Leaf Lux. So let's say you are still minimal in terms of roster character availability, then I should just prioritize other character like main DPS compared to getting her first. She's still pretty much great, but I think there's still other character that I can say it's more urgent for you to pull. But in the end, my recommendation to pull for her is that if you want to complete your Lightning meta team and you want a dedicated buffer for your Alpha Crimson Wave, then I really suggest for you to pull for 21 Feral Sand. Other than that, if you want a flexible character that work as off element, let's say you want to put other in fire team, because she is amplifier. Whatever you switch, you will get elemental damage bonus, which is, yeah, you can just put as a off element or flexible character in here if you want. Number 5 is Lee Hyperil. He is right now is a part of fire meta team and he has role as a fire main DPS. Although soon I know that he will be getting replaced and become sub DPS when Watanabe comes. In non-meta case, Lee Hyperil still pretty much is useful, especially in high difficulty content. His auto dodge is literally your savior. You can just play any single high difficulty enemy that's super hit hard or very hard to dodge. He can just avoid that. So if you have skill issue, he become your savior in high difficulty content like Pablo or Norman. The downside of him is that he will be not relevant in terms of part of meta less than a year. Not because Watanabe. Watanabe is not his main threat because he is still in the part of the meta when Watanabe comes. He will getting replaced when Lucia, the new frame that will come, because he will completely getting replaced. So among all the characters that I make in the list, he is the one that have the shortest relevancy in meta. So that's the only downside about him. However, I still have the recommendation for you to pull for Lee Hyperil, which is if you mostly want to make full meta fire team as soon as possible, especially you want to just pair with Watanabe in the future, then yeah, you can start to getting Lee starting from now. Oh, I forgot to mention maybe some of you curious if he will getting replaced soon, why I put higher Lees than Feral Sand. The problem is that although he will replace around next year, but as for right now, there's no replacement of him. And I already told you in PGR, main DPS is very important. So because of that, although his relevancy in meta is not really long, but for current short term, he's still important than Feral Sand itself. And number 4 is Karina Shear. Karina Shear is a dark thing that also works as a sub DPS. Even later when Lamia comes, she still serves a purpose for the temporary on field, because Lamia is typical character I say cannot solo. Even like on her meta team, she cannot really solo, at least for SS, because she's very consumptive in terms of being itself. So it's different case. So in here we need to switch another character, and this is the role where Karina is still important, not as just a tank, as a sub DPS. So currently still part of the meta in the future patch, even in Xian. So pretty much like she also upgrade as from the Kamui Tenebrion itself. But of course you require the signature weapon, so that's the little bit notes. She also very tanky in general. You just need to accumulate the ping, hold, basic attack, and she get like super armor, and yeah, it's very hard for you to just like so in terms of survivability, she's still pretty good. And soon also she will receive lip and make her even better. And other things that I want to say, if some of you scared about getting her on SS3 because maybe you find like it will be hard, and in the future reaching SS3 will be not that hard anymore if you plan well, because next year if you will get like selector up to I forgot, maybe Bianca Stigmata, so you can get Karina Shiri in there. And also when she receives flip, it will available in the BP voucher, so maybe if you saving some voucher, you can slowly SS3 her. So that's why I say she become more accessible at least to reach SS3. And the downside of her is that because she is literally need SS3 and weapon, she's relatively expensive. Even though it's more accessible, but it's still not an excuse that you can say it's still pretty much quite hassle for you to saving up until like SS3, something like that. So because of that, yeah, I can say this is the major downside of that. Usually SS already good, no, you don't even need weapon, but she literally need SS3 and weapon. That's already quite a dragging. My recommendation for you to pull for Karina Share is that if you want to complete your dark team, and especially maybe you want looking forward with Lamia, then of course she will be one of the best partner for her. And of course if you're looking to upgrade your Kamui Tenebrion, then yes, you can pull for Karina Share. But of course I say with note that you need at least weapon in order to see the upgrade, as with weapon at least at the minimum requirement. Before we move to the top 3, I will talk a little bit about the honorable mention. There's a couple of them. First is Vera Garnet. Vera Garnet is still pretty much a very good lightning tank, mostly work as a complementary for team in Alpha Crimson Wave along with 21 Feral Sand. Also she will receive lip in the future, I think it's around November, and make her even better, so she even still relevant until like future patch, even longer than the Hyper Rail. The reason why I didn't put her in the top of the list, just because Alpha Crimson Wave in the lightning team, she can pretty much solo. So at the worst case, if you still need like another character like urgent, you want to be like physical team, you can somehow ignore first her teammate and just slap like the free-to-play team, let's say like Leaflux and Chrome Arclight, and still pretty much give you pretty decent output. And also the rotation will not feel janky or awkward, something like that. It's different, let's say like Fire Team, you lose one of the character, it will feel janky and awkward. But that's not the case for Alpha Crimson Wave. She still pretty much decent in the team, and also the rotation will not feel janky. So because of that, in the very urgent situation where you still need to expand your meta team to the other element, it's just better to pull like other, like let's say Bianca Stigmata. The recommendation from me if you want to pull Vera Garnet is that if you want to complete your meta in lightning team or want to upgrade of course your tank in lightning team along with Alpha Crimson Wave, and yeah, feel free to pull for her. And the next character is, both of them is actually equal, I can say, which is Chrome and Rosetta. Both of them of course tank, but of course Chrome in ice, Rosetta in physical. Both of them is still part of the meta right now in their own respective element. And I can say is that the only drawback why I didn't put them in the list is that there will be no relevant anymore in terms of meta, less than a year. Like I think Rosetta first, and then after that Chrome, I think with only like 1 month different. The also thing I want to highlight is that why I don't put on the list that Rosetta you can just clearly get from the beginner banner along even with the signature weapon. So that's why if I say the value for you to just pull in this banner kinda feel waste. And Chrome also why I didn't want to put on the list, because he kinda need weapon also to work optimally, and thinking also like he's not really that relevant, like less than a year feels like too much hassle for you that to pull even for the weapon itself. However, if you just want to talk about short term, they still pretty much part of the meta right now and still playing as a part of important role. The only recommendation for you to pull Rosetta or Chrome is that if you want to complete your ice or physical meta team as soon as possible, so same case like Ali Hyper Rail. Otherwise, if you have patience, just wait. And the last honorable mention, which is both of them actually classify in the one section because they have also the same class, which I like Kaleido and Selena Capriccio. So both of them still relevant even until like future patch and Xian. So longer term you should not worry. Both of them like still pretty much useful and very important in even global PGR right now. Ayla as a main DPS, Selena Capriccio as a buffer in the dark team. The only downside why I don't really put in the list is that they are pretty much free, right? I like Haldo free from the dorm, and Selena Capriccio you can just do the Fantasia mode. And also think you can just pay the shard from the BP voucher even as a free to play. The only things that you need is patience, literally. So because of that, the only for me to recommend this character for you to pull is that if you just want to make your Ayla or Selena Capriccio rank up faster, you don't want to wait anymore, you just want to make it like Selena Capriccio triple S faster, then yes, that's the only where I recommend. And let's move to the number 3, which is Leaf Empire. Leaf Empire is Amplifier class, and she still serves as a very good fire support in there. And also she can work as an off element or flexible character. Let's say you want to put like in dark team, lightning team, yeah, it can work because of course her role as amplifier, you will get buff when you switch to the next character, so that's actually good. And also she's still pretty much relevant for the future patch, so for longer you don't need to worry. Although like she is the first 2nd gen character, but she's still relevant. Also she will receive leap, make it even better. And the reason why I put also her in the top 3 because compared to Karina is that she still have alternative, which is Kamui Tenebrion. So it pretty much at the worst that the upgrade will not feel that significant. But Leaf Empire in meta fire team, there's no replacement. She's the only one. So because of that, she's more important than getting like, let's say Carnashir or 21 Feral Sun. And my recommendation for you to pull for Leaf Empire is that if you want to build fire meta team, then of course she's still one of the core in here. And also maybe for fun, if you want to make your finally a fire gray Raven team, they can do that right now, but it will be next year for the global, of course. And other than that, if you want a character that can work as a flexible character, you put off element, let's say you want to put in lightning or you want to put like dark that I already mentioned before, then yeah, she still pretty much can work. This is mostly I recommend if you are a new player that doesn't have so much character roster. And number 2, Bianca Stigmata. Bianca Stigmata is meta DPS in physical team, still relevant in the future patch, so you should not worry about long term. Even she just received leap that even already show shine that she will even more relevant in the future, so for at least a year or even more. And currently in even just like we talk about right now in global patch right now, there's Alisa just released, and also Alisa in here will make Bianca Stigmata even better because finally Bianca Stigmata can crit consistently, and that's actually a good thing. Like that's literally indirect buff for Bianca Stigmata itself. And the reason also why I put her in the 2nd place because she is DPS. I already say like DPS is very important in PGR, and she's already make off the list. She already qualified in DPS in here, right? So that's why she in the top of the list. Very important for you to get. And she is also always say relevant and very important role in physical meta team, and make her you kind of necessary. You need her if you care about meta stuff. And the recommendation for you to pull is that if you want to start the physical team, then you can get Bianca Stigmata, especially right now, this current global patch. And let's say you are a brand new player, then you can get her full meta physical team for free. I'm not even kidding. So you only need to pull Bianca Stigmata just because Alisa is free. Rosetta you can get from beginner mission along with the signature weapon. And then yeah, you get full physical meta team. And that's actually good. So that's why in here I said like if you beginner just want to start the game, I think starting from physical also one of the best route right now. And lastly, for the first place, I think you already know what is missing, right? I don't need to tell. Alpha Crimson Wave. Alpha Crimson Wave is meta in lightning DPS, arguably one of the strongest DPS if you just don't care about element feature. And she also has wide range of moveset, a lot of stuff variation that you can use with Alpha Crimson Wave. She is also very popular. A lot of people know PGR just because of her. She also able to solo in like lightning team itself, making her not really necessary in terms of like fully invest in the lightning team if you really want to expand to another element. Like literally you can just slap Leaflux and Chromark like and you're ready to go. You can even move and prioritize the other like element. Let's say I want to prioritize fire, just because she will work fine, still decent, it's not will feel bad. And actually huge for new player, especially have limited resource. Then that means you can allocate those resource and expand your team, so you make it literally faster progress. However, it's actually is quite similar with physical in the end, but the reason why I still give Alpha Crimson Wave number 1 just because if you just care about like the individual power, then Alpha Crimson Wave is stronger than Bianca Stigmata. Although about like individual power in this game, not really that relevant because we still need to put every single mode with their respective elements, so that's not really relevant. But yeah, consider just like power, raw power, I think Alpha is stronger in it. That's why I put also number 1. So my recommendation for you to pull for Alpha Crimson Wave is that if you want a very strong start or you want a very strong main DPS, especially in Lightning team, then I really recommend for you to pull. Or let's say you are a new player that want to chasing to the end game or middle to end game player, I think getting Alpha Crimson Wave is one of your best quality of life and investment, just because it will help you by a lot. In the end, if you confuse between Alpha or Bianca Stigmata, both of them have equal value for me. But if you just care power-wise, then Alpha is strong. Probably that can help you. And now let's move to the copies. Let's say you want to pull this 100% for more copies to rank up your character itself. Then for me, if you want to pull for copies for SS, which one should you prioritize? And for me, you should prioritize the one that main DPS. So technically, I think the best value right now is Alpha Crimson Wave or Bianca Stigmata for you to prioritize to SS. However, Leaf Empire also pretty much a good value for you to pull for the SS, just because it gives her quality of life and give her even more fire damage buff to the team, and actually still good for SS. For SS3, which one that you should prioritize if you're aiming? Then prioritize first is Karina Shear. Karina Shear is one of the character among this list that literally need the most for SS3 because at SS3 she deal damage and it work optimally as a tanker. And afterwards will be Bianca Stigmata. So if you want to play for your Bianca Stigmata doing more than one rotation, then SS3 can help you, because in SS3 you can do more than one rotation and also will get more damage. So that's also pretty much, I can say it's more important compared to other like even like Alpha Crimson Wave for the SS3 itself. So it's more impactful. And for the triple S, which one I should prioritize to get? I can say the very easy way is all amplifier due to massive buff to their own damage and also buff to the team when you switch, because the amplifier at SSS the buff become massive. So of course in here all the amplifier from Ayla Kaledo, Senna Capriccio, Leaf Empire and 21 Ferozen will be much prioritized for you to go for triple S. However, if I can recommend specifically, prioritize for Selena Capriccio, because among all other amplifiers she's the one that need the most for triple S. And the next character, if you may be aiming also for triple S, which is Bianca Stigmata. Bianca Stigmata on the triple S, she will receive a big buff in terms of damage. She get extension combo, and also it will enable her to be able to do a solo run. So Sam finally become like Alpha Crimson Wave, but require triple S. That's why I say like if you want to her changing like playstyle, then yeah, you can go for triple S through, and that's still pretty much good. So yeah, that's it about who should you pull for 100% red up banner. I hope this one can help. In the end, this is only my opinion. You can take it or leave it. Like I can say like in specifically it's very hard because different account progression will have different stuff. So because of that, this is mostly like I cover the general stuff in it. I hope this is help. But if you ask my personal stuff that you still very confused, I will always choose either from Bianca Stigmata or Alpha Crimson. If both of those characters will never go wrong. So yeah, I hope that can help. If you like this video, feel free to hit the button and like, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.